Hi, today I'm gonna show you how I increased my testosterone and about doubled the level of testosterone. And as you see, these are the blood tests I did a few months ago when I was very concerned about it and did the experience. And I'm gonna show you how I did it and what I used. So let's start with the first letter, the first blood test that I did. So as you see, this is the first test I did. So I did 6 tests over about 2 years or less than 2 years. So it's written in French, so this was done the 10th of the month of July 2017. So sorry if it is in French, but however I will translate it for you. So okay, all of this is not necessary to learn. So the cholesterol is important when dealing with testosterone self. It's why those who use steroids have increased problems of the cholesterol, because as testosterone increases, cholesterol also usually increases. So here you see these are the values of normal, the normal values. So it goes between this and this number. And these are my numbers. These are the grams by liter or something, the units of however they calculate it. So you see the two types of cholesterol, HDL and LDL. Okay, these are not necessary also. So when I first did my test, I think the first and second tests I didn't ask them to check out my estrogen levels, because you should also add the estrogen level and check it out, because it's also important when checking for testosterone. So the free testosterone was 4.11 grams or pg per milliliter, or however they say it, and the normal value would be 2.5 to 4.9, and this I didn't understand, because I believe it's a little bit less than this for the normal value and a lot more than this. So this I don't know, I didn't understand. So as I mentioned, the first one was 4.11. So 4.11, I'm gonna put it on this table right here. Okay, and this was the second test, as you see here. It was done the 19th of September 2017. So it was 2 months and 9 days after. First one was July 10th. So this was September 19th. So 2 months and 1 week approximately later. And you see it was down to 2.21, the testosterone level. 2.21, so it went down. And this is what I was talking about, the values of reference, or the normal number. Here it says 3.5, which I believe is a mistake. I believe it's 2.5 or something like this, to 8.5. And this, I don't know what he wrote, I think FSH, I don't know. So yeah, this is the second test. So as you can see, it went down from 4.1 to 2.2. So it's almost half done. I mean half less. So I don't know, I forgot what happened. But anyways, the test got way down. Also, don't be so extremist regarding these numbers, because one endocrinologist doctor told me that these numbers can vary even during the day. So for example, even during the day, you can have low level of test and then higher levels. So even these numbers are not like something to worry too much about, because they can vary even during a short amount of time. Okay, and this was the third one I did, and it is the first one I also calculated or asked to check out the estradiol, the E2, the estrogen level, like I explained before. So this was done the 25th of November 2017. So it was 2 months and 1 week after the previous test, which was in September 19th. So this one November 21st or 21st, sorry. So let's check it out. I also checked the cortisol, which is also good to check out, because you should have low cortisol levels, because lower cortisol level help increase testosterone, and high testosterone levels are bad for testosterone. I mean high cortisol levels. So anyways, this is the value. You can see that it was really high, and this was my bulking, my most insane bulking phase I ever did, because I really wanted to build a lot of strength and have as big arms as I could, which I managed to do, and it was my personal record of 43 centimeters. However, I had a waist of 110 centimeters, so my belly waist was over 1 meter, like 1 meter and 10, and my body fat was about 33%. However, I had the most strength ever in all lifts, and including barbell curls. But anyways, this is for another video. So anyways, you can see that because of the high body fat I had, the cortisol was also very high. It was at almost 500. And look at this. The references for average people should be between 100 and 536 being the max. So you see that I was almost at maximum. And the estradiol, so the estrogen was at 38. So let me circle them. So here the value of reference is not indicated, however it's quite high, as you will see, and I managed to get it lower, and you will see how. So yeah, there's the values of references for estrogen. This is men, this is for women. So or men, you can see that it's very high, 38, when it's supposed to be from 11 to 44. So 44 would be the maximum for men, and you can see that I was almost at maximum. And this is also because when having a lot of body fat, then estrogen increases. And you will see how I lowered it, and I'll share some tips on how I did to lower it. But you can see that at the beginning, when I didn't check out for estrogen, it got really high, 38, almost the max. Then also there is the FSH, which is also good to learn. I mean, good to calculate. So mine was at 3.37, and you can see that for men it's in the norms, not too low, not high. So FSH also good to know, and LH is also 3.8, which is also an important hormone to check. And there is the main one, the testosterone stuff. So you can see that it got higher to 5.05. So previously it was 2.21. So it got really higher, and I'll tell you how I did it. As you can see, the reference number is 2.8 to 11. So this is, I believe, almost as high as I ever checked it, and I'll tell you how I did it. Oh yeah, and for the LH numbers, for men the normal stuff would be 1.1 to 8.7. So mine was at 3.8, so about average, about halfway through. Okay, and so here are the numbers for the third test compared to the other ones. So you can see that testosterone was at the highest so far I ever did, over doubling from the previous test, and even higher than the first time I did the test. By the way, first time I did the test, I did do things to increase my testosterone. So before this it was probably even less. And you can see that I added the other columns. So E2 is the estrogen levels. It was at 38. And the max is 44, as I said. So it is very high number for men. Cortisol levels almost 500, almost the max as well, which is also not good. And LH 3.8, which is about average. Okay, so this was the fourth one. It was done on the 7th of February 2018. So the previous one was November 25th. So this was 3 months, or about 3 months, or 2.5 months. Yeah, 2 months and a half approximately after. And the cortisol levels were lower. As you remember, it was at 499. So now it was at 411. You can see the maximum is 536 still. So it got lower. And I also did the things to lower it. So you can see that it worked. And the estradiol, the estrogen levels, was at 27. So you can see that I got it really down by like 25%, something like this, probably even less. As you remember, it was at 38 before. This number was 38. And this because I did a lot of first losing weight, I believe, and also eating lots of cabbages and IC3 rich foods and stuff that lowers estrogen. I could make a separate video about all of this, and also things like nettle roots and these kinds of herbs that are proven to lower estrogen. So you can see the value of estrogen should be between 11 and 44. So I got it down from 38 to 27. Then the LH got really high, which is also very good. It was at almost 7, and before it was at 3.8. So you can see that it almost doubled. And the testosterone, as you can see, it got up to 5.63, which is actually the highest I ever got. 5.63, and it was 5.05 before. So you can see that it was getting closer to the higher numbers. So you can see that the fourth one has so far the best numbers. Increased testosterone from 5.1 to 5.6. Decreased estrogen from 38 to 27. Decreased cortisol from almost 500 to 411. And increased LH from 3.8 to almost 7. So it got the best results so far. And this is the period where I was a real maniac on trying to get testosterone as high as possible and lower estrogen as low as possible, and I managed it. And this is the 5th test, which was done a while after. So it was done 7 months, because it was done in August. The previous one was in February. So after 7 months, February 7th, the last one. This one is August 8, 2018. So cortisol got way up to the higher number, almost. It was at 531. The highest number would be 536. This is, I believe, when I started to bulk again and not pay too much attention on the testosterone stuff. Or no, sorry, I did take attention, because look, the estradiol, the estrogen levels were down even more, now to 22. So this is because I mainly ate a lot of IC3 foods like cabbage and stuff like this, rich in IC3 or DIM. So it went down from 38 to 27 to 22 now. Out of the maximum possible for men, 44. You can see that it got down to 22. Then the FSH, which is also a good hormone to have increased for testosterone, was at 4.51, which is average. And the LH hormone was this time at 4.34. Last time it was at 6.98, so it went down, unfortunately. Now for the main one, the testosterone, it got way down to 4.45. However, this is really surprising and got me kind of depressed, because I bought pretty much all herb supplements that are proven to increase testosterone, even some debatable ones like the Ali root. I forgot how it's called. Anyway, the Ali, some Ali stuff root. I forgot what it's called. So yeah, you can see it got down from 4.45, from 5.6 to 4.5. However, I also believe that it was probably because of the nofap, because for this I didn't do nofap for a long period of time, like almost 1 month, and for this maybe it was less than this. So when you do nofap also, it was one of the things that increased testosterone over time. So the numbers so far are for the fifth one, it is so far the most disappointing, because at the beginning I was first starting in increasing testosterone and did some stuff bad. However, reaching the fifth test, I did pretty much everything as perfect as possible. So I was going to the sun a lot for vitamin D, which I did also for pretty much all of these, but I still kept doing it. I ate right stuff. I ate lowering and increasing testosterone and lowering estrogen foods and herbs. Even the supplements, I bought like 10 supplements proven to increase testosterone and lower estrogen. For example, like the ginseng, fenugreek, and ginger. I did it before, but anyways, for the thing I added from these ones was DAA, ginseng, horny goat weed, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, I know it's mainly for cortisol, but you can see that even cortisol didn't work, because cortisol got way up, almost to the maximum, so I don't understand. And yeah, the estrogen did lower, but apart from that, everything is a disappointment. So testosterone got way down, even downer than the previous two, not just the previous one. Cortisol got way up to almost the maximum, and LH also got way down from 7 to 4.3. So this one was disappointing. Okay, and finally for the last one, because I got tired and disappointed from the last test, got really disappointed. So the last one was done on the 12th of August. The 12th of August. So yeah, it was done only 4 days after, because I wanted to see if testosterone had the problem. So I didn't pay a lot of money for all the other stuff to be checked out. So I only checked testosterone to see if maybe it was a low point, and so this result units are different from all the previous one. I don't know why it's by these units. It was also another center I went to. So anyways, this unit I'm not familiar with, but however the result gave 20.69. The unit is different from the other ones, as you can see, and the value of reference for normal numbers, it's from about 5 to 32. As the previous one, the unit was maximum 11. This one, the maximum is 32. So what we could say is that it is over half of the maximum value. So the previous one was 11. So over half of it would be like probably 6. And if it is true, if it calculated the same way, then this number is actually pretty good. Probably even the best numbers from all of the numbers I showed. So there it is. And actually I did a mistake. It wasn't the 12th of August, it was the 12th of September 2018. So 1 month and 4 days after doing this. So yeah, you can see that I didn't do the other tests. Just the testosterone, which has no link with the other ones because the measurement was different in this center. So I don't know about the types of measurements, but anyways, I wrote it here. It was a 20.69 out of a maximum of 32. So you can see here that I did the calculations, and so if I take here, I took 5.6 out of the maximum of value being 11. It means I had 51% of the maximum testosterone level. However, here I divided my level calculated by the total maximum natural value of testosterone using their system, their measurement. So this divided by this got me to a level of 64.6. So actually the last test was my maximum testosterone value. If of course those two different stuff are calculated and equivalent. So by converting this number to the other table of values from the previous test, it would be 7.1 out of a total of 11. So 64% out of 11, like the previous test, would be 7.1 of whatever name this value is called out of 11. So it would be over the 5.6, which was the previous record. So actually it would mean that from the 5th test to the 6th one, it got an increase from 4.5 to 7. So the total numbers for my experiment was that at the lowest point of my testosterone level, it was at 2.2, which is 20% of the max testosterone for men. And the highest point, which is the last point I took out the blood sample, was at 64.6% of the max testosterone. So between the blood tests, it was a total increase of 44.6% in the levels of testosterone, and this means this 44.6% increase means a 321% increase in difference from this one to this one. It increased by the level increased by 321%. So the highest point testosterone was over three times higher than when it was at the lowest point. It was 321% higher than the lowest point. Now for the estrogen levels, Estradiol. You can see that it went from a max of 38 the first time I took the estrogen numbers out of a possible max of 44 for men, so it was really high. I managed to put it almost halfway down to 22 out of maximum of 44, and the minimum was 11, so I got it down to a really good number when it was very high. So you can see that it went from a maximum a rate of 86% from the maximum down to 50%. So I got it decreased by 36%. So finally I increased the testosterone by 300% and decreased the estrogen by 36%. Or you can say the level of testosterone were increased 300%, 321%, and the total testosterone comparison was almost 45% increased. So you want to know how I did it, and I'm gonna show you how. So first of all, I increased the vitamin D intake, going to the sun, and I did have some vitamin D supplements. However, I rarely used it. All I did was go to the sun a lot, bare skin, and I did a video about this in the playlist on how to increase testosterone naturally, so you can check it out. Next, I also increased zinc mineral, which is proven to increase testosterone, and I did take zinc supplements. However, you can bypass them and take zinc from food, like in oats or steaks or oysters. I barely took oats, but I did take a lot of steaks, which was rich in zinc. And when I didn't, I did use zinc supplements, or supplements which had zinc. For example, multivitamins, or even a pre-workout which had zinc. Also, another important vitamin or mineral I took was magnesium. I also took supplements which had magnesium, which is proven to increase testosterone also. So, however, you can also get it in foods. I also did took lots of B vitamins, because supplements I used like multivitamins, etc. had B vitamins, especially the B6 vitamin, which is also made into a single supplement of zinc, magnesium, and B6, because it is proven to increase testosterone. I didn't buy the supplement, however, but with all the supplements I used and the food I ate, this was also really increased. For some time I took omega-3s and with added vitamin E. So both of them are controversial in does it increase testosterone or not. However, I did take it, and anyways it has other benefits. So yeah, I did take them for a while in supplement forms mainly. Next is cholesterol. So I did add cholesterol to the diet, like egg yolks, because cholesterol helps actually in increasing testosterone. However, don't abuse it. So I would take, for example, 2 to 4 egg yolks a day, and also some other things with cholesterol like steaks and fat, cheese. Next point would be losing fat. So as I mentioned in the video, when you have excessive fat, then estrogen increases and testosterone decreases. So I was on a cutting phase for a lot of duration during this experiment. So losing fat would help you also. Nofap. So yeah, nofap really helped, especially for one of the tests that I mentioned, where I said that for almost 1 month I didn't it wasn't for November, but for just the purpose of the test. I wanted to see if it really helps, and it did. Like I showed, it was like increasing the testosterone by itself by like 50%. Like in a single test, the testosterone levels increased by 50%. Now I'm gonna mention some of the herbs I used, and some of them are the natural form I used them, some of them from supplements forms. So first we have ginger, which is a proven testosterone booster. Then fenugreek as well. Then at about the third or fourth test, from that point on, I added also ginseng. And also about the same time, or maybe a bit later also, I added the horny goat weed. Then for some duration of this time, not the whole time, but for some period, I used the testosterone booster product, the only one I ever used. It was from Optimum Nutrition, not to make an ad, but one of the ingredients was saw palmetto, which is a good proven ingredient, and it did have tribulus, but I'm not gonna add it because studies have shown that tribulus doesn't increase testosterone in living subjects. So it's not in vivo, it's in vitro only. Okay, next would be DAA, D-aspartic acid, and I made a video about this supplement that I still use. I still have it, didn't finish it. So this is also a proven ingredient. And this is the one I was talking about, Ali herb, the Tongkat Ali, which is also contradictory, but I did use it. And these two, even the DAA, were also used from like halfway through, from the half point of this experiment. And the ashwagandha, as you can see, this is mainly for cortisol. However, with helping the cortisol hormone, then it also helps for testosterone. So I did use it. Then we have another very good proven ingredient for testosterone increase in vivo with the proven tests is the boron, which I didn't buy in supplement forms. I took it from food sources. So I took lots of oranges, almonds, peanuts, oats, raisins, and dried fruits. So yeah, the most rich food on which contains boron are, I believe, raisins. So unless I forgot something, this is pretty much all that I used for increasing testosterone. And next would be what helped me lower estrogen. So the main thing for estrogen was I really increased the DIM, DIM, and I3C, which is proven to decrease estrogen, and this is really the main difference that was added to my diet. Like I really insisted on this and increased them as much, a lot of this. I did take it in supplement form from the Optimum Nutrition stuff supplement I mentioned, but I mainly took it from food, so cabbages, cauliflower, broccoli, turnips, radish, etc. Next is the red grapes. I would take a lot of it, and this has resveratrol, which is helpful for lowering estrogen. Then for some of the herbs, first we have oregano, also rosemary, also nettle root, which I used in natural form from the nettle, and also from supplement forms inside the Optimum Nutrition supplement I mentioned. I also took chamomile or however you spell it, and this was also natural form, natural herb. I would do a drink of these herbs. Also adding the Tim herb. I also added passion flower in supplement form, even though it's contradictory. Also curcumin, or you can take turmeric, which is even better. I also added a lot of onions and garlic to my diet, as you can see in some meals I showed on video about like omelets. And also spinach. Now I'm not sure, I forgot if it helps decrease estrogen or increase testosterone. However, I believe it does. I forgot how. Anyways, I added it a lot during this time in my diet. A lot of spinach, especially in omelets and stuff. So you can check out the video I mentioned in my nutrition playlist. and testosterone increasing playlist. And if I didn't forget anything, so probably the last one would be losing fat, like in testosterone as I mentioned. So losing fat helps you decrease your estrogen. So there you have it. Hope you have a good idea on how I did increase my testosterone to 300% and decrease the estrogen by almost 40%. So I wish you luck, and if you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and support the channel, and see you next time. Bye.